Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, commissioners and staff, and welcome to the Planning Board meeting of Thursday, March 11, 2021, via webinar session for the City of Paterson. Chairwoman Northrop can proceed.
We are not in March 11th yet. We're only in March 3rd.
You're right, I was reading my wrong agenda. March 3rd. Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. All right, can everyone please rise for the flag salute? Thank you. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. Before I begin tonight's meeting, I would like everyone to meet Yvette Figueroa. She's a new member of the Planning Board. So we wish her luck on this board, and we look forward to working with her. Yvette Figueroa, okay. Commissioners, Planning Board, staff, ladies and gentlemen, as Chairwoman of the City of Paterson's Planning Board, I call this meeting of 3/3/21 to order. I hereby state that all the provisions of the State of New Jersey Public Meeting Law have been fully and completely met, that the notice of provisions required have been properly posted in the Planning Board office and with the City, and clear that the public notice and advertisements have been published in the Herald News on 2/20/21 in accordance with the law, and that the copies of such notice and public advertisements are on file in the Planning Board office, as is also the agenda listing the applications to be taken up by the Planning Board at this meeting. The procedure tonight will be in accordance with the rules, regulations, bylaws as heretofore determined by the Planning Board at its office in the municipal complex in the City of Paterson. Roll call, please.
Commissioners, Commissioner Fisher absent, Commissioner Ahmed,
present.
Commissioner Brooks, Commissioner Savalos absent, Commissioner Cleaves is absent, Commissioner Santana,
Present.
Commissioner Issa,
Present.
Commissioner Udine,
Here.
Commissioner Figueroa,
Present.
Councilman Flake, absent, Commissioner Brooks, Commissioner Brooks, can you hear me, please?
Here, I'm here.
Thank you very much. Now I hear you, ma'am. Chairwoman Northrop.
Present.
Thank you. We have 7 commissioners present this evening.
Thank you. All right, notice pursuant to the Public Meetings Act addressing effective coronavirus measures on the next public meeting, consistent with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107, given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020, by Governor Philip D. Murphy, the Planning Board of the City of Paterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10:4-8, commencing on April 15, 2020. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the Council Chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Paterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for reasons of compliance with the said Executive Order Number 107, public participation will be available by calling 973-321-1579, and the meeting ID is number 711-680-001, and I will repeat that later. Planning Board regular meeting of Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. On the date and time that the meeting is scheduled today. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, www.patersonnj.gov, and following the email link to the meeting, www.patersonnj.gov/planning board. So this evening we have 2 applications on the agenda. One is Nicholas Marino, the other one is H. Vidal Realty. Mr. Deutsch, which application do you want to go with first? You're muted. You're muted. Okay,
H. Vidal Realty, if that's possible.
okay.
Before you continue, Mr. Deutsch, I just need to clarify something. Commissioner Brooks, to mute yourself, you can hit *6. I'm getting some feedback from you. So if you want to mute yourself, make sure you hit *6. Thank you very much.
Okay, so this evening you would like to, we can begin with the H. Vidal Realty. Is that the one you said, Mr. Deutsch?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And who would be representing H. Vidal Realty LLC? Which attorney would that be this evening? Is that Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair. I'm Maricondo, 726 Market Street, Paterson, on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, all right, great, thank you. All right, so H. Vidal Realty LLC, 159. 16th Avenue, Block 4211, Lot 29. The lot is vacant and the applicant proposes to construct a new 3-story residential dwelling of 3 dwelling units. The first floor proposes tandem parking for 2 vehicles, stairs to the upper floors, and a 1-bedroom unit of 638 square feet. The second floor proposes a 3-bedroom unit of 1,143 square feet, and the third floor proposes a 3-bedroom unit of 1,221 square feet. The parcel has an area of 2.333 square feet. This proposal is within the RA-2 zone of the 5th Ward redevelopment plan. Variance is requested for the following. Lot area as a minimum of lot 5,000 square feet is required and 2,333 square feet exists. Lot width as minimum lot width required is 50 feet and 25 feet is proposed. Both side yard setbacks as a minimum of 5 feet required and 3 feet is proposed. And rear yard setback as a minimum of 20 feet is required and 18 feet and 7 inches is proposed. And open space amenity areas as 800 square feet is required and 470 square feet is proposed. It requires site plan approval and bulk variances. Mr. Deutsch, would you like to give us your review, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Property taxes and sewer charges are current. Persons having a 10% or greater ownership interest in H. Vidal Realty LLC is Harold Vidal, providing an address of 150 Dundee Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey. As indicated on the property survey prepared by GB Engineering LLC and dated March 19, 2020, Lot 29, Block 4211, has frontage of 25 feet on 16th Avenue, a rear lot line that measures 25.01 feet, an eastern side lot line that measures 93 feet, and a western side lot line that measures 93.62 feet. The survey indicates that a frame shed exists on the northwest corner of the property. There are adjacent dwellings located both east and west of the subject parcel. A 3-story dwelling exists 2 feet to the west of the subject property line, and a 2-story dwelling exists on the shared eastern side property line. The parcel is located on the northern side of 16th Avenue and has a lot area of 2,333 square feet, or 0.06 acres. 16th Avenue is a one-way street in an easterly direction, and the property in question is located between Carroll Street to the west and Rosa Parks Boulevard to the east. Evans Architects has prepared a 3-page architectural submittal dated April 13, 2020. Drawing S1 is the site plan. Details are shown for lighting and concrete sidewalk. Additionally, the plan indicates site notes, the 200-foot radius map, the existing condition site plan, and the zoning ordinance data. The proposed site plan indicates that the proposed building is to cover 52% of the lot and has an approximate dimension of 19 feet in width and 65 feet in length. The building is proposed to be 10 feet from the front property line, 18 feet 7 inches from the rear property line, and 3 feet and 1 inch from both side property lines. Drawing S2 is the site plan details. Additional site notes, seepage pit section, the utility site plan and the concrete vertical curb and roadway pavement widening, roof-mounted condenser detail, the roof leader overflow detail, shrub and tree planting detail, sanitary sewer connection detail, and water connection are indicated. Drawing A1 are the floor plans. The floor plan indicates a two-car tandem garage with 2 windows on the left side, an interior door leading to the staircase, an interior door leading to a closet beneath the staircase, and an interior door leading to the 639 square foot, 1-bedroom unit, which includes a washer and dryer, a kitchen, a full bathroom, and a living room, dining room. The second floor indicates a 3-bedroom unit of 1,143 square feet and includes 2 full bathrooms, a washer and dryer, a kitchen, a dining room, and a living room. The third floor indicates a 3-bedroom unit of 1,221 square feet and includes 2 full bathrooms, a washer and dryer, a kitchen, and a dining room and a living room. Drawing A2 are the building elevations. The front elevation indicates a stucco facade with a garage door on the first floor, an L-shaped masonry staircase leading to the second floor, 2 entrance doors and windows on the second and third floor. The rear elevation view of the building indicates a masonry facade for the entire building with windows on all levels. The left side and right side elevations include a stucco finish and windows on all 3 levels. The structure indicates a top height of 30 feet and the building has a pitched flat roof. The intent of the RA-2 residential district of the 5th Ward redevelopment plan is to permit a more intensive residential use of land with various types of dwellings. The surrounding existing dwellings consist of some newer dwelling units, rehabilitated older dwelling units, and dwelling units needing rehabilitation. There's a new 4-story multi-unit residential structure located on the northwest corner of Carroll Street and 16th Avenue. Within the RA-2 district of the 5th Ward redevelopment plan, there are other examples of both new and recently approved multiple-unit residential buildings that have replaced older structures that have either been vacant and abandoned or on long vacant lots. The applicant requests variances for the following conditions for this proposed 3-unit structure. Lot area is 5,000 square feet is required and 2,333 square feet is existing. Lot width, as a minimum lot width of 50 feet is required and a lot width of 25 feet is existing. Both side yard setbacks as a minimum of 5 feet is required and 3 feet and 1 inch is provided on each side of the dwelling. Rear yard setback as a minimum of 20 feet is required and 18 feet and 7 inches is proposed. A recent field inspection to the site indicates that a building very similar in appearance to the current proposal is under construction on the parcel. Research has determined that the applicant applied for and received zoning approval to construct a 2-family, 3-story dwelling on the premises in March of 2020. It is unknown if the ground floor, first floor interior has incorporated the 638 square foot 1-bedroom unit that requires planning board approval to legally conform as a 3-unit dwelling. The requirements for a 2-family dwelling are 2,500 square feet of property, 25 feet of lot width, a maximum of 7 feet of front yard setback, minimum side yards of 3 feet, a 20-foot rear yard setback, 60% maximum building coverage, and 80% maximum impervious surface coverage. As this is a redevelopment area, the planning board must determine whether the granting of the requested variances to allow the number of dwelling units proposed by the applicant is appropriate for the lot and the immediate surrounding area. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. Surrounding land uses. This proposal is in the Sandy Hill section of the city within the 5th Ward redevelopment plan. The area is zoned residential with neighborhood commercial areas located at some corner intersections. Concluding remarks. The applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $250,000. The applicant should incorporate the design elements contained within the 5th Ward redevelopment plan on the site and within the building. On October 5th, 2020, the planning board approved the construction of a 3-story residential building with 5 units on a 2,425 square foot lot at 152 16th Avenue. That is your staff review for this proposal, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Deutsch. Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Chair and Commissioners, good evening. We do represent Untitled Realty with respect to this application along 16th Avenue in the redevelopment zone. We concur in all respects with Mr. Deutsch's report. This is an opportunity for this applicant to develop a 3-unit building on a site that is very comparable to a recently approved application across the street where this board actually approved a 5-unit multifamily dwelling with approximately the exact same square footage. So my client has taken a more conservative approach and would like to develop 3 units. He also has the additional benefit of having 2 parking spaces on site, although none is technically required in this section of the redevelopment zone with this lot width dimension. That being said, I'll call Mr. Deutsch, call Mr. Evans as my first witness. I can't call Mr. Deutsch, I'm sorry.
No, you can't.
Mr. Evans, do you swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You gotta speak up, I can't hear you.
You're Alex?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. State your full name for the record.
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Thank you. We accept Mr. Evans as an expert.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. As I did not indicate in my opening, but Mr. Harold Vidal is the principal of H. Vidal Realty. He's a lifelong Patersonian. He owns a couple small businesses in Paterson, and he has developed a couple small housing units of the 2 or 3 unit character size. And along those lines, I also wanted to point out that Mr. Evans will confirm that there was an approval administratively by the building department of the 2-family on the site where construction had begun. And that ground floor, 1st floor unit does in fact square up with the 638 square feet, 1-bedroom unit that would require planning board approval in this case. So Mr. Evans, I'll have you, obviously, if you could, give us an overview of the site and what the application is looking to do.
Okay, basically what we have is a 25 by a little shy of 100 lot. The lot is 2341 square feet, and we're proposing a 3-family house, which is similar to many houses that are built in the area. They're similar to the 2-family, with the exception of the rear space on the ground floor will be developed as a legal 1-bedroom apartment in the rear. So we have 2 parking spaces, so we see the site plan, we have the existing condition site plan I've posted, and then we have the unit with the parking below. Going to the next sheet.
Just let me interrupt, that was 2 parking spaces, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
so if you look at the floor plan, you see the 2-car garage, we have a stair going up to the upper level, and then that, once you get to that upper level, you go back down into the rear apartment, and then, or you go up to the 1st floor and the 2nd floor apartments. The, basically it's developing that rear section as a 1-bedroom apartment. We show a large kitchen, open kitchen, living, dining room, large bedroom, bedrooms 12.4 by 11.6. We have a full bathroom, and we have mechanical laundry facilities within the unit. So it's all separately, separate utilities for all the apartments. Going to the upper floor, it's a standard 2-bathroom, 3-bedroom unit, 1,143 square feet. And then we have the top floor is similar to the 2nd floor, which has a 3-bedroom unit, 1,200, a little bigger, 1,221 square feet. So it's open living, dining, kitchen area. and they all have washer, dryer, and utilities. Going to the elevations, we show the front elevation is a modern concept design, stucco, with arch-top windows and large casement windows, showing the front garage door and the main entrance to the 3 units in the front. We have a more simple side elevation showing the windows, stucco facade, and then the same with the left side elevation. And we have all egress windows, and it would be sprinklered, being that it's a 3-family house. It needs to be have a fire sprinkler system installed.
So that would also require compliance with all state Department of Community Affairs, code regulations, and requirements.
Yes,
Good. So we've got a double protection in terms of fire safety.
yes.
Okay.
So basically, as was said before, there's no parking required. We provide 2 parking spaces on the site. We also show a low intensity residential unit for the redevelopment plan, which incorporates 2 3-bedrooms and a 1-bedroom unit, which basically gives it good efficiency of space for the site.
And we talked in terms of my opening and Mr. Deutsch's report as well, the fact that this lot area, although deficient, is typical of some of the recent developments in the area as well.
Yes, it's not as intense as the other developments, but it's in keeping with a lot of the similar setbacks and structure which is developed in the area.
Okay, and of course, these slightly undersized lots, one of the goals of the redevelopment plan is how to address these type of lots, or how does the redevelopment plan contemplate this kind of lot?
Well, they're looking for different types of housing stock, so they don't just want one type of development, so they're looking at, 2 families, 3 families, 4 family, or townhouses, different types of developments. So there's a variation of living styles, so this would definitely conform to that because we don't get a lot of these type of developments, but it is in keeping with the redevelopment plan.
And of course, it's a vacant lot, so the infill concept is important as well.
Yes,
Okay, in other words, one of the goals is to eliminate these vacant lots.
yes.
Okay. With respect to open space, we do meet the requirement as well, I believe, is that
Yeah,
correct?
we have a nice large rear space. It's about almost 20 feet. It's 18 by 25, and that is
So we meet the requirement,
yes.
no variance. Okay. I think that would conclude my testimony of Mr. Evans at this time, Madam Chair. Thank you.
I just have one quick question, before I open it up to anybody else. Has this, been legally conformed for a 3-bedroom unit? Has this been done, completed, and it's okay, it's legally okay to have the 3 units?
No, we're seeking the approval for the 3 units tonight. What happened was the applicant back a year or 2 ago, had gone through the building department administratively, which would not require your planning board review to develop as a 2-family. So that's where the construction began. So he has the ability to develop it that way.
Okay.
He would like to accommodate it for his family needs as well.
And this,
Okay, all right. How many other, I'm sorry?
this would meet, if this were to be approved as a 3-family, it would meet all the fire code requirements, and it would be completely
Okay.
in code compliant for sprinklers and other egress elements, so
Okay.
we wouldn't have any conversion problems.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have Mr. Gonzalez, our only other witness.
Right, you only have him?
Yes.
Well, then I'm gonna ask you to call him, and then I'm gonna open it up to the public and then our commissioners for questions. Okay, please call him now.
Okay, Harold, you're gonna be sworn in? Harold?
Where is he?
Hold on, please raise your right hand. Please raise your
Harold,
right
raise your
hand.
right hand.
You swear affirm testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, you're muted. There you go.
I do.
State your full name for the record, please.
Harold Vidal.
Okay, Harold, try to keep your voice up as you move along. Harold, you heard all my comments, Mr. Deutsch's report and Mr. Evans' testimony, is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
Something's wrong with your mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Harold, you heard all the testimony of Mr. Evans, and your picture's moving around, so try to stabilize it. And Mr. Deutsch's report and my comments as well.
Yes.
Okay, and you're in agreement with that testimony? Okay, and how long have you been in Paterson residing and working?
In Paterson?
Yes,
About 35 years.
okay, and so, and you developed a couple other small houses, is that right?
We have a couple of small houses. I'll rent them out.
Right,
Sometimes I have family members move into them.
okay, so what is your intention with this house if it's approved?
With this house, I'm gonna keep it for rent income.
Okay, so it'll be maintained by you as an owner?
Correct.
Okay, and you did start that work at where the original approval was for administratively with the building department, but you know that if the board approves this application has to be in full compliance, as Mr. Evans talked about, with all the free family requirements.
Correct. What I did was I started construction as a two-family,
Right,
and which they granted me permits as a two-family.
I understand, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, now you also understand that you would be required to be in compliance with the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs as well.
Correct.
Okay, great.
I'm aware.
All right, very good. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna open it up to the public. If anyone in the public has any questions of either Mr. Vidal, the owner, or Mr. Matt Evans, the architect, if you have any questions, not comments. If you have comments, I'll save it for the end, and you'll have time to do it then. Right now, I'm just taking questions of either of those two gentlemen. Please call in at 973-321-1579. And the caller ID, the ID number would be meeting ID is 711-680-001. And I will allow 3 minutes for call-in, 2 minutes for call-ins, 3 minutes for questions. Okay?
Chairwoman and commissioners, we have no callers at this time.
Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna open it up to the commissioners. Commissioners, if you have any questions of Mr.
I have a question.
Yes, Commissioner Brooks, go right ahead.
My question is to Matt and to Michael Deutsch. As far as the parking is concerned, why is it 2 parking spaces is acceptable with no variance when you have 3 units with 3 apartments? Why is that rather than normally you would need 1.5 parking spaces for 1 apartment? And on this particular application, why would you only need 2 parking spaces?
Mr. Brooks, again, good evening, Mr. Evans can address that. We've had this situation before in the redevelopment zone, where lot sizes which less than a 25 foot front, less than a 50 foot width, excuse me. Mr. Evans, you can testify what that ruling is.
Yeah, in the RA2 zone, any lot with width of less than 50 feet does not require on-site parking.
I'm gonna, hold on, stop please. There is that background noise, somebody's got a TV or something on in the background, because I can hear it, and I'm sure Melinda cannot record this properly with that background sound. So please, who's ever got their microphone on with TV in the background, shut them off. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Evans, would you just recite that again about the RA2 requirement?
Okay, in the RA2 zone, any lot with less than 50 foot in width does not require on-site parking. So, it would not require parking, but the design is to incorporate 2 parking spaces. So, with a 0 parking requirement, we show 2 spaces.
And I might point out also that this is I think a positive element of our plan, because some of the other RA2 developments that we've seen with under 50 foot widths have not presented any available parking on site. So this applicant made the affirmative effort to make that happen.
So you're putting a 3-family on a 25 by, a 25 foot frontage, so I guess it's like a 25 by 100, because it's less than 2,500 square feet. So in the redevelopment plan in the 5th ward, that's acceptable?
Yeah.
Or are you asking for a variance because of that? Is that?
There is no variance required on the redevelopment plan for lot sizes with this width. The thinking was, and again, Mr. Joyce, if he wishes to touch on it, I believe the intention of the redevelopment plan was to encourage developers to take an opportunity to develop these undersized lots, knowing that being able to provide parking on site would be a great challenge. So the redevelopment plan tried to give those developers an opportunity to make it happen without parking, but our client's gone that extra step and provided 2 parking spaces.
Well, my question is, why, if it was passed before as a 2-family on 25 by 100, you're coming back, not only are the parking, am I concerned with, but I'm also concerned with the lot area. The lot area is 2,333 square feet. And you need variances for that and for the lot's width.
Correct.
Now, the second, well, wait a minute, the approval that you received on the 2-family was the exact same, correct?
We did not come to the planning board for the beginning construction on the 2-family. That was a matter of administrative approval by the building department. It's a matter of right, based on the earlier concept. So this is the first time we're coming to the planning board. We're not coming to the planning board to tack on or add on to a prior planning board approval. We realized that under the redevelopment plan, this was an opportunity to provide 3 quality housing units, brand new units. And I also would point out again, as I did in my opening, that this board has unanimously approved several other applications in this area with the same, or approximately exactly the same lot sizes for 5 units. Also taking into account that there's a no parking requirement. So this is a record number of units with parking. To me, it's a win-win on both elements.
Well, not that I say anything, but what I say is because we passed previous lots like this, I don't know whether that we should have or not, because I don't believe in voting for anything less than 25. I think that 2,500 square feet should be the minimum of what the variance should be. That's my personal opinion, only because Carroll Street, where this place is at 16, that is very congested anyway, and Anyway, that's my question, that's okay, thank you, thank you.
Any other commissioners, any questions of Mr. Evans or Mr. Rydell?
No questions.
Anyone? Commissioners, any questions? Okay. Wait, I'm sorry? Did I hear somebody speak up? No, okay. All right, so, Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, thank you again, Madam Chair. Briefly, by way of summation here, I believe this application is an extremely positive one. This is an applicant that has taken on the opportunity and somewhat challenged to develop new quality housing in the redevelopment zone. And I think, as you can see from the variance list, we tried every way possible. We've met almost every bulk variance condition except for the existing lot area, which is a pre-existing condition. We provided parking when none was required. We provided open space on a smaller lot, which is very challenging for tenant passive recreational space. This is not a building that is over the number of stories. It's much smaller than the building height requirement, not even close to the cap on building height. So this is a very minimal variance type application. It's not only in conformity with the prior approvals in this area, it's less intense, substantially less intense than the prior approval. Thank you very much.
Okay, commissioners, okay, would anyone like to make a motion on this application? Commissioners? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion on this application. On the application of H. Rydell Realty LLC at the property 159 16th Avenue, Block 4211, Lot 29, I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting approval, and I don't have it in front of me. Can somebody tell me what the, because I don't have my computer, I'm borrowing somebody else's. Can somebody tell me what the variances are, if any?
Site plan approval, bulk variances.
Yeah, here. I'm sorry, what? Commissioner Dean?
Site plan approval and bulk variances.
Well, variances, okay.
Madam Chair,
Anything else?
Subject to city engineer and
Yes.
HCP Soil Conservation District.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, yes. Well,
did you want the specific bulk variances?
No,
well, yeah, but Commissioner Dean just gave it to me. Do you have them? Al?
In front of me, yeah, I do.
Yeah, just go ahead and repeat it for the record, because I don't have mine in front of me because this is my computer, sorry.
Sure. Bulk variances requested for lot area as a minimum lot size of 5,000 square feet is required, and 2,333 square feet exists.
Okay, no, I don't need that. I don't need that, I just need the variance at the end. We need site plan approval
And bulk variances.
and bulk variances, and we need soil conservation.
Yes, the city engineer.
Yeah, city engineer.
Okay, all right, then we're good. Do I have a second from anyone?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dean. Okay, roll call, please.
commissioners, one moment. 1 second, commissioners. Okay, commissioners, Commissioner Ahmed,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks. Starsis. Thank you. Commissioner Santana.
Yes.
Commissioner Eugene.
Yes.
Commissioner Issa.
Yes.
Commissioner Figueroa.
You gotta speak, you unmute yourself.
I'm not muted, can you hear?
Oh, okay, now we can hear you. You're, okay, yes? Okay,
Yeah.
yes, okay,
Her vote is yes.
yes,
And Chairwoman Northrop.
yes.
This application has been granted unanimously 7 votes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Madam Secretary, I did not hear Commissioner Brooks's vote. Can you repeat that?
She voted yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay. So now, we'll move on to the second application. Okay, second application is for, everybody else can sign off, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Riddell. Okay, the second application is for Nicholas, Marino, 149-155, Maple Street, lot 1410, lot 10.01. The applicant proposes to subdivide the existing 7,457 square foot lot into two lots containing 3,750 square feet and 3,707 square feet. A new parcel is located in the RA-2 residential district of the first ward redevelopment plan. Variances are requested for exceeding the maximum front yard setback, which is 7 feet, as opposed to the 20-foot setback proposed. A 2.5-story building is permitted and a 3-story building is proposed. Exceeding the maximum driveway access width of 12 feet and proposing an 18-foot driveway access width and parking for two of the proposed or required on-street parking spaces within the front yard setback. Requires subdivision approval, site plan approval, and bulk variances. Mr. Maraconda, are you representing Nicholas Marino?
Yes, I am, Madam Chair. Alan Maricondo on behalf of Mr. Marino.
Okay, Mr. Deutsch, can you give us your review, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. Property taxes and sewer charges are current. As indicated on the survey prepared by John Evans and dated March 13, 2014, the parcel has a bifurcated frontage on Maple Street of 50 feet and 25.22 feet, a rear lot line that measures 75 feet, an eastern side lot line that measures 100 feet, and a western side lot line that measures 96.70 feet. The survey indicates that a concrete block retaining wall is located along the eastern and north sides of the parcel. The parcel's total area is 7,457 square feet for 0.18 acres. Scott Bleeker, licensed surveyor, has prepared a minor subdivision plan dated November 25th, 2019, and referenced as sheet number 1 of 1. The plan indicates a location map, the zoning tables for parcels A and D, notes, the two proposed locations of each two-family unit on the subdivided lot. As indicated in the minor subdivision plan, subdivide the 7,457 square foot lot into two lots. Parcel A is proposed at 3,700.
I'm sorry, wait a minute, Mr. Deutsch. There seems to be an audio issue, because you're breaking up. Melinda, can you hear him or no?
He's coming in and out, but I can hear him.
Okay.
Commissioner Figueroa, are you muted? Commissioner Figueroa, are you muted?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. That should
Okay,
let me know.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna mute myself, and, Mr. Deutsch, you may continue, please.
thank you.
Okay, you know where I left off, Amanda? As indicated on the minor subdivision plan, the applicant proposed to subdivide the 7,457 square foot lot into two lots. Parcel A is proposed of lot area of 3,750 square feet, and parcel B is proposed of lot area of 3,707 square feet. Each proposed lot is at frontage on Maple Street. Proposed parcel A indicates frontage of 37.5 feet on Maple Street, a rear lot line that measures 37.5 feet, and eastern and western lot lines that measure 100 feet each. The parcel has proposed lot area of 3,750 square feet. The dwelling is proposed to be placed 20 feet from the front property line, 30 feet from the rear property line, 4 feet and 6 inches from the western property line, and 5 feet from the eastern property line. Proposed parcel B indicates a bifurcated frontage of Maple Street of 12 feet 6 inches and 25.23 feet. A rear lot line that measures 37.5 feet, a western side lot line that measures 100 feet, and eastern side lot line that measures 96.7 feet. The parcel has proposed lot area of 3,707 square feet. The dwelling is proposed to be placed 17 feet and 1 inch from the front property line, 30 feet from the rear property line, 4 feet and 6 inches from the western property line, and 5 feet from the eastern property line. A 2-page plan prepared by Evans Architects dated March 11, 2014 has been submitted. Sheet number S1 indicates the site plan and subdivision, the zoning tables, the site location plan, and construction details. The minor subdivision plan of block 1410, lot 10.01 indicates the existing lot containing 7,457 square feet. Adjacent lot 10 to the east was part of a previous application for residential development for a 6-unit residential building. The minor subdivision plan also indicates that a 3-story, 2-family dwelling is proposed on each lot. Each dwelling is to measure approximately 28 feet by 50 feet and have a height of 35 feet. Drawing A1 indicates the dwelling floor plans and elevations. The dwellings are to be built on a concrete slab with no basement. The first floor plan indicates parking for 2 vehicles in a side-by-side arrangement, and separate entryways to an interior staircase leading to the upper floors. The first floor also indicates a utility room, a powder room, and a storage room. The second floor plan indicates a living room, a dining area, a kitchen, 3 bedrooms, and 2 full bathrooms. The third floor plan is similar in layout to the second floor plan. Each of the units has a living room door that opens onto a small front deck. The front elevation indicates an L-shaped 17-step concrete staircase from the ground level to the second floor entrance. The front facade indicates brick and stucco materials on the first floor and vinyl siding above. The right side elevation indicates a cement plaster first floor exterior and 3 sets of double hung windows on the second and third floors. The left side elevation indicates the cement plaster first floor exterior and 4 single windows on both the first and second floors. Both of the side elevations indicate vinyl siding on the second and third floors. The rear elevation indicates a double hung window and a single window on both the second and third floors and vinyl siding. This proposal is within the First Ward redevelopment area. A variance is requested to construct a 3-story building, whereas a 2.5-story structure is permitted. Both lots require variances for exceeding the maximum front yard setback of 7 feet. Although many older dwellings exist in this redevelopment zone with 0 front yard setbacks, most proposed dwellings are set back about 20 feet in order to provide for off-street parking. A variance is requested for allowing 2 of the 4 off-street parking spaces within the front yard setback. An additional variance is requested for exceeding the maximum driveway width of 12 feet. An 18-foot driveway width is proposed. If approved, the applicant shall file a subdivision plan in conformity with the map following law or a deed clearly describing the approved minor subdivision. The chairman and secretary of the planning board shall sign the deed. If approved, it remains the responsibility of the applicant and/or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to final approval. Surrounding land use. This proposal is in the total west section of the city. The side of the street where the proposal is located is residential. To the south and east, the Passaic River, Great Falls National Park, and Hinchcliffe Stadium are located. Concluding remarks. The applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $500,000. A previous application was proposed by the applicant and conditionally approved by the planning board in 2014, but never received final approval. That is your staff review for this proposal, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Deutsch. I want to reiterate to the planning board staff members that this will be done in 2 parts this evening. We will be voting on the subdivision, and then we will be voting on the site plan and for each division. Right, so hopefully everyone understands that. We've done this before. This is nothing new. So with that being said, Mr. Mariconde, how many witnesses do you have this evening?
Just Mr. Evans and the applicant very briefly.
Okay, so please call Mr. Evans first, please.
Sure.
You swear affirm testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your full name for the record.
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
We accept Mr. Evans as an expert witness. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and good evening again, Commissioners. Mr. Reno, as the applicant is before you with respect to this minor subdivision and proposal for two new modern housing developments one on each site, I should say, on each parcel. As Mr. Deutsch correctly indicated, this application came before your board several years ago, and due to market conditions at that time, the applicant wasn't able to proceed in terms of building permits and construction. However, this board unanimously approved this project at that time. And again, we're in the redevelopment zone, which encourages the development of new housing on lots of this size. So essentially, this is a mirror image application. Mr. Evans and his office had prepared the original site plan and subdivision. Mr. Bleeker's current subdivision map, only because Mr. Evans doesn't prepare subdivision surveys any longer, incorporates and is a mirror image, as I said, of the original subdivision map that was unanimously approved by this board. So again, we're looking to develop something which is very comparable to, in fact, larger lot sizes than many of the subdivisions that we've been granting over the last several years before this board. That being said, we'll call Mr. Evans at this time. Mr. Evans, your office had occasion, have you been sworn? Or no? Yes, okay. I'm sorry. Your office had occasion to work on this project several years ago as well?
Yes.
And essentially the design that you're presenting is exactly the same?
Yes, no changes.
And the subdivision map prepared by your father, John Evans, is a mirror image of the current subdivision prepared by Mr. Bleeker, is that right?
Yes.
And you're in agreement with the proposed lot sizes as per Mr. Deutsch's report, is that right?
Yes.
So what are the two lot sizes we're proposing?
We have shown Mr. Bleeker's subdivision plan showing the two parcels we're proposing. One lot would be 3,750 square feet, and parcel B would be 3,707 because it chambers at the bottom corner, taking out a little space on that property. The buildings are essentially the same footprint, same parking, same bedroom count, everything that we proposed and was approved in the previous approval.
And we're able to provide 4 parking spaces, but 2 of which would be in the setback, is that right?
Yes.
For each new house?
Yes.
So that technically, even though we meet the 4 space requirement, it is a variance because of that reason.
Yes.
But we are able to provide 4 and 4. Okay. We also successfully met exactly the open space requirements in the state?
Yes.
Okay, that's exterior open space?
Yeah, it's in the rear yard. We have a large 30-foot rear setback by basically 37.5 each. Gives us adequate open space for each dwelling unit.
And we are, our proposed houses meet the building height requirement of 35 feet, do not exceed it, is that right?
Correct.
Technically, we're a half story over with the structure the way it's designed?
Right, but in the back, it's cut, it's basically, it goes uphill a little bit.
Right.
I'm gonna post my architectural plan.
Sure.
So you can see on the right side elevation how the grade goes up. So it's basically 2 stories in the back, 3 stories in the front. So basically it could be considered a walkout or drive out a garage under, and then we have the 2 units above. So
in your estimation, that story requirement is a de minimis type of variance?
yes.
Okay. Obviously, lot area under regular conditions would be 5,000 square feet for new residential housing in this area?
Well, it's the RA2 zone, it's the redevelopment zone, so it allows a lot of different multifamily type of structures. Adjacent on Wayne Avenue, there's 2 families on 25 by 100 lots. And then adjacent on Maple Street, there's a multifamily unit that was built probably 30 years ago, adjacent to the right side on Maple Street. And that would, I don't know exactly how many, maybe 10 or 12 units adjacent to that. So the RA2 allows multiple different type of residential multifamily units. This is probably the least intensive.
Right.
Of that is large lots we've created and adequate parking, and they're 3-bedroom each.
And all of the square footage requirements are met, the 3-bedroom apartments?
Yes.
And Mr. Deutsch accurately points out lot area requirement is met by virtue of what our lot sizes are, no variance required.
Right.
Okay, so again, the 5,000 square feet refers to a lot in a regular zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't apply to us. In the sense that we're looking at a redevelopment site, that's why our lot size is acceptable.
right. The redevelopment, the RA2 would allow more units per acre, but this is compatible with
Surrounding area.
And it's a little more, like I said, low intensity. The topography of the lot, permits a 2-family and would not be too intensive for the neighborhood.
And so we're not seeking a variance for that lot area in this case.
Correct.
Okay. Any other variance of any significance in terms of any impact to surrounding parcels at all? We have one front yard setback we're proposing. Is that correct?
Yeah, so, where are you?
Front yard setback?
Yeah, the front yard setback in the RA2 is 3 feet, and we have 20 feet. I think that it conforms in fact that we have adequate off-street parking for the unit, so we have 4 parking spaces per each parcel. And
So the expanded front yard setback in your estimation is a positive in that sense because it helps us provide parking for both units.
yes,
Okay. I think that would cover the variances essentially that are being sought.
yes,
And again, in your estimation, this lot size conforms to the surrounding area without negative impact?
yeah. These are nice size units. They're 3 bedrooms. They meet the minimum requirement for a 3-bedroom. We have a porch or a terrace on each front of the building. Zoom in a little bit. So you can see downstairs we have a 2-car garage, mechanical, powder room, and a storage. That's a full basement. There's no windows. There's no. It's a real basement under there, as you saw in the topography. It's buried. So then we have a large 2-bedroom unit. 3-bedroom unit with the laundry facilities, 2 full bathrooms, and I said we have the cantilever deck in the front for each of these units. Then the top floor, the same consistent. So they're nice size units. You can see also on the elevation. The front elevation shows the stair coming up. The garage is a 2 single door garage for 2 cars. And as I said, the little balconies in the front. And then if you look at the rear, we have just 2 stories looking at the grade there. So,
Okay, I think that would conclude our testimony at this time, Madam Chair.
Okay, and you have Mr. Marino.
Just Mr. Marino to ratify the testimony.
All right, please bring him on.
And Nick, you're going to be sworn in?
Yes, good evening.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Say your full name for the record.
Nicholas Marino.
Thank you. Good evening again, Nick. Nick, you've heard all the testimony this evening as well as Mr. Deutsch's report and my comments.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Nick, this is the same application that we got approved several years ago where we did not move forward with the building construction based on market conditions. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're obviously ready to go at this point to develop these 2 new quality housing units. Is that right?
Yes.
Ready? Yes, okay. With respect to these units, would it be your intention to sell the lots with building approvals or to keep them as rental units, if you know?
Keep it on yourself. Wait, I'm keeping it.
Right, at this point, you intend to keep the two families, okay? Good, okay, very good. You understand that if the board were to grant these approvals, the limitations on the new construction would be two-family houses only, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Chair, that's all I have at this point.
Okay, that being said, I'm gonna open it up to the public. If anyone in the public has any questions of Mr. Marino or Mr. Evans, the architect, okay, and it's again, just strictly for questions at this point, right? Please call in, at 973-321-1579, and the meeting ID number is 711-680-001. I'll give it 2 minutes for call-ins, 3 minutes for questions, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to see if anybody calls. I just want to see if anybody calls and opens to the public.
Chairwoman and Commissioners, we have no callers at this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, commissioners. Okay, any questions?
I have a question, Woman Brooks.
Anybody? Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Brooks.
I don't know if Mike or Mr. Marino can answer this question. Mr. Marino, are you the sole owner of this property? Because it's not in Mike's report.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that was my question.
Okay, commissioners, any questions, Mr. Evans? Any questions?
Chairman, this is Commissioner Dean.
Yes, Commissioner Dean, go right ahead.
Chairman, this question I'm addressing to our architect, Mr. Evans, that on the screen he has presented the parking spaces. I noticed that there are two, for each parcel there is a garage for 2 parking spaces. My question regarding other 2 parking spaces, he has mentioned that there are 4 parking spaces would be for each parcel. If you can explain one more time where the other 2 parking spaces would be?
Sure, as addressed in Mr. Deutsch's report and our testimony earlier, those are front setback parking spaces. Matt, did you want to highlight it any further about that parking?
Yeah, in the RA2 zone, you can build a house, up to 3 feet to the property line. We set the building back and gave us, 2 parking spaces in the driveway. There's 2 garage spaces, and then there's 2, parking spaces in the driveway. So we'll be seeking a variance for parking in the front yard, and, but that's, kind of a handoff to getting the 2 parking spaces. So we'll have a garage space per unit and a front, a driveway space per unit. So each unit has 2 spaces, a garage and a driveway.
That answers my question. Can I ask another question? Which is, I believe, about 10 units building on the right side. If I'm not wrong, the parking lot you are proposing, the party you are, the application came today. Right next to that, there is another building, which is a very big one. I think about 10 or 12 units. So the question regarding, since you were coming up with 2 different parcels, are you guys, is there gonna be the same front yard, like the big front yard together, or they're gonna be separate one? And any green space would be between these 2 different parcels?
I'll address part of that question and I'll defer to Mr. Evan on part as well. By virtue of the subdivision creation, these are independent lots, each which will contain a 2-family house. and our plan does set forth substantial open space in the rear that meets your code's requirements in the redevelopment zone. So these are independent, this is not one large structure. But Matt, I'll ask you to talk about the separation in terms of side setback.
Yeah, so we have, I can repost the, let me see if I can repost the site plan. 1 second. So, showing the front of the building, let me zoom in a little bit.
There's no side yard variances, first of all, I know that. Yeah, no variances whatsoever.
So showing the front yard, there's the 2 spaces, that's kind of hatched there, it's parking in the front, in the driveway. And then we have green space in the front and around the perimeter, we have some, arborvitae. And then we have on the right side, we also have arborvitae, and then between the units is all gonna be green space, landscaping between the stairwell and the, driveway.
And the independent.
Excuse me, there's nothing on the, there's no plans put up.
We have it up, but maybe.
I see the plans.
Yeah, I see the plans, yeah.
See 'em.
We can all see it.
We can all see it.
Okay. Again, I just wanted to highlight that we're not creating any side setback variances. Is that right, Matt?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Akita. That answered my question, and thank you, Chairwoman.
Okay, any other questions?
Madam Chairman.
Yes, who's saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
Abin,
yes,
yes.
Commissioner Ahmed, all right, ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Abin, I just want to know, like, what would be on the first floor and how big is it? Is it only a recreation room? Are they gonna use it and a garage?
The ground level?
Ground level, yes.
About the garage level, basement,
Yes.
the basement is basically unfinished storage, mechanicals, and a powder room on the, adjacent to the 2-car garage there. So that would all be a below grade, basement area. And everything, the first floor and second floor would be above grade, in the back. So you, as I mentioned, you have that condition, there's no windows, it's basically all gonna be landscaping and, basement area adjacent to that.
So there's no living space on that ground level?
There's no, living, unfinished storage.
So the ground level, is it above the ground or is it gonna be under the ground? Is it like
It pokes out of the ground in the front, so as you see the side, elevations, you can see there's a little retaining wall that's about 4 feet wide, and it goes up to the back.
So there is no windows in the basement? Okay,
So it can't be turned into a third party.
okay.
It wouldn't be, acceptable for what.
No. Okay.
All right.
Any other questions, commissioners?
No, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from any other commissioners? Do I hear Commissioner Santana? And no, commissioners? Okay. All right, you don't have any questions? Okay, go ahead, Hertzberg first. Okay, hearing no other questions from the commissioners, I'm gonna ask, Mr. Mariconda, would you like to sum up, please?
Just a very brief summary here. Again, we appreciate the board's reconsideration of this prior approval. We want to do exactly what we had proposed before. We think this is an ideal subdivision and an ideal new development to provide 2-family housing on the area in a zone that absolutely permits this type of housing and in fact promotes it. And the lot sizes that we believe are more than sufficient. And we have very minimal variances, as you can see. And the applicant's gone out of his way with Mr. Evans' design help to provide adequate parking, we believe, with the front setback area and also open space, which is so important in a subdivision, we believe, because sometimes the subdivisions have challenges with regard to open space and parking, as the board knows. So we feel very good about this design. Thank you very much.
It's nice. Second one. Okay, that's all.
You're muted, Chairwoman.
I'm sorry, I hear some background noise, that's all. I just wanted to make sure that everybody, turns their microphone off until they're called on to either make your vote or make the motion. So at this time, I will ask if any commissioner would like to make the motion on this application.
I'll go for a motion.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Dean, please go ahead.
Before I go for it, I'd like to just mention something. I think, Commissioner Cody was saying something.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I just wanted to make it clear we need two separate votes, one on the subdivision and one on the vote
Yes.
variances.
Yes, to the subdivision. Yep.
Should I go for subdivision first, Chairwoman?
Subdivision first, yes, please.
If I'm not wrong, I believe the property located in second ward. It is mentioned on the application that it says first ward. No?
I'd like to clarify that.
Mr. Deutsch?
No.
I think it is second word.
That this side of the, if I'm not wrong, the right side of the street is first ward, the other side is the side the building located is second ward.
I'll certainly double check that, sir.
Sure, Mr. Deutsch. Alright, I'm gonna go for the motion anyway.
Yes, please, go
Alright,
ahead.
so let me
Go
go for
ahead,
it.
if it has to be corrected, we'll do that, go ahead.
Alright, cool. Alright, so on the application of Nicholas Moreno, 300 Block 1 Avenue, Woodland Park, New Jersey, 07424. Property address 149-155 Maple Street, Block 1410, Lot 10.01. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting the personal subdivision approval.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by, was that Commissioner Ahmed?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioners, Commissioner Ahmed,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Santana,
Yes.
Commissioner Issa,
Yes.
Commissioner Udine,
Listen, yes.
Commissioner Figueroa,
Yes.
and Chairwoman Northrup.
Yes,
This is your subdivision. Now you're both in site plan.
yes, okay, would someone like to make the, motion on the, site plan? Commissioner Dean?
Yes, I'll go for it. Alright, so on the application of Nicholas Moreno, 300 Block 1 Avenue, Woodland Park, New Jersey, 07424, for the address 149-155 Maple Street, Block 1410, Lot 10-01. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting the site plan approval of block variances subject to city engineer approval.
Second.
Okay, second by Commissioner, Ahmed. Roll call, please.
Commissioners, Commissioner Ahmed,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Santana,
Yes.
Commissioner Issa,
Yes.
Commissioner Udine,
Absolutely, yes.
Commissioner Figueroa,
Yes.
Chairwoman Northrup.
Yes,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you again for your approval, and good evening.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, thank you, have a good evening, stay, no one else, logged off yet, Mr. Deutsch, our next meeting is Monday.
Yes, Chairwoman and Commissioners, we have, in addition to our regular meeting, 2 weeks from tonight on the 17th, we have 2 regular meetings to make up for due to inclement weather that we have to cancel meetings on. One from December and one from February. So, next week, we will be meeting on, March 8th. And,
The 15th and the 17th.
right, so the 8th, the 15th, and the 17th. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
You're welcome.
8th, the 15th, and the 17th, okay, and there might be a special meeting, you said? And that,
There may be a special meeting on March 30th. I do not know what the cases are yet.
okay. Okay, so we'll wait and we'll stand by on that, just so everybody else has the agenda for our meetings. Do we have any other business this evening?
No, ma'am.
Resolutions, anything?
No.
Okay, well then with that, I bid everyone a good night. This was a quick meeting tonight, so everyone have a good rest of your night.
Welcome.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, welcome.
Congratulations, Commissioner Tagora.
You're muted, you're muted, Yvette, you're muted, that's okay. We got your face, we know you're happy.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm learning.
You're welcome. You're welcome, we're lucky to have you, thank you. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good evening.
Good night.